just keep going with this. This is good. So anything that's associated generally with consciousness, whatever experiences, car crashes, domestic just go for it. Go nuts.
Yeah, it's like, anything, related to life in general.
The floating thing seems like a safe one, though. But who was talking about that?
Dan was talking about it was super fun to go to his floating tank experience, where he was really relaxed and
he got bored. I got bored about half an hour. I got bored and I just couldn't do it.
So you're like, I've got the universe at my fingertips, but boring.
I was just saying I had the wrong mindset. Yeah, when I went in there.
That was in the past, though. Now you'll be different.
Oh yeah, I can smash it now. You're right, Mel. I could smash it now, but that was quite a few years ago. I was.
You're talking actual like the float tanks and not doing like the float.
That's what prompted it. Was that I was talking about the wave float on the wave thing, and then we were talking about float tanks, and then I said about City Cave in Brisbane's got float tanks, and I've done one, and I got bored. That's how.
Right.
All right, I tell you my first experience with floating tanks. I was panicking because I was going to start. Not panicking, like worried that I was hitting all the walls, and too distracted hitting the wall, so I couldn't do it properly. Yeah, it's interesting. We just go with our own stuff there.
Yeah.
To deal with it anyway. Yeah.
I had a really special experience for my first one. I was pregnant with my first child, and it was the first time I felt her move was when I was in the float tank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's really special. Yeah.
That's cool. That's
How far along were you at the time?
It was really early. I was only like maybe 15 weeks.
Yeah. Wow.
But I was super lean because I just did a comp, and I got pregnant 2 weeks later, so I had like no body fat on me, and she was sitting right at the front of my stomach, so I just felt this little boop. It was really cool.
It would have like rippled through the whole water, right? So
and with like having all the other senses are kind of gone, so you just feel everything so much more. Yeah,
that'd be wicked. Look,
I was in a couples one, so I put my husband's hand and he felt it as well. So it wasn't me just imagining it, so that was good.
To be honest, there's like pregnancy is the one thing, and I'm just like, I'm super glad I'm not a woman. Like getting that, but I do have to admit that would be a pretty like wild and cool experience.
Yeah. It's the worst but the best thing all at once. Yeah,
that sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
I mean, there has to be good elements to it because you go back for more than one.
Yeah,
it can't be all bad. But I mean, I've seen it, and it's like a car crash. So
yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys might have been on drugs when I had to do it sober.
Yeah, see, I got to have a cesarean both times, so that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, yeah.
So has anyone else done the float tank? So Dan, you've done it, but you weren't hugely impressed at the time. Think you'd go back for it?
Did I? Have I?
Do you think you would, like, especially after this kind of thing?
Well, yeah, now I will, because that exercise we're doing with floating, I think that'd be awesome to try, and then do an out of body float, like so you're physically floating, and then do the spirit, the spiritual float. I reckon that'd be awesome. Yeah.
In fact, it's been ages since I've done one as well. But I used to do a sauna first, then cold shower, and then go into the tank, and just like your body just loves it, and you just go into that a little bit of like a micro dose of mushrooms as well, just to
what a combo!
It's the best. It was the best.
Amazing.
When I was starting my coaching and like going out of academia, going into coaching, I was like, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to approach things, and I'd made enough money for like through things like Bitcoin that I didn't have to like try to leap into something. So I actually had like plenty of time to just chill. So I smoked a bunch of weed, played a lot of video games, microdosed a whole bunch of like psychedelics while I was like figuring out. Hey,
are you recording this?
Yeah. I'll post this somewhere.
Just
no. Well, that's the thing. I feel like I got completely free from academic censorship. From like, I run my completely own business. Everyone I work with is my own client, so I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
But I don't have a boss. No one tells me what to do, what to say. So,
and in it's fact, all natural anyway. It's from the earth.
Exactly. Yeah, plants and mushrooms.
Oh yeah, it is.
Salt water. If that shit's illegal, then we've got bigger issues. But that was really instrumental in giving myself enough time to decide, what I wanted to do, like how I wanted to do it and what the important factors were. Because, it's easy to just jump from one thing into another and not really give it enough thought. And I see this, like a lot of the people that I work with as a coach, that's kind of where they're at. It's a little bit of being frantic or coming from scarcity. So yeah, the flow tanks were really instrumental for giving me that clarity. Really valuable.
Nice. Yeah.
Have you done one, Angie?
I was thinking today because I got greedy and I did 2 waves today. So I was like, maybe I should go to the tank. And yeah, so
where did
I
you
got
go?
a nerve pinch in here today, and I think I'm just gonna have to go and do X-rays and stuff. But that's why I'm laying down. But I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Where do you go?
The City Cave here around the corner. I live in Cannon Hill now. It's not around the corner anymore. It's 10 years on the road.
There's one. Where is it? Is it Mornings? No, it's not Morningside. Cooperoo, I'm pretty sure. There's a City Cave and there's a... Weren't you living out Cooperoo Way, Dan?
No, Wilston. I live Wilston, north side.
Okay.
Wilston.
It might have been
They everywhere now. They're everywhere.
There's a few, yeah.
Like fast food. Yeah.
Bulimba,
Good one.
Newstead, Paddington, Bulimba, Greenside.
Kapalaba, there's Bulimba.
Check out the Urban Recharge. The Urban Recharge, because the City Caves are more open. The Urban Recharge have the actual pods.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Pods are really good. I way prefer the pods because they're properly like light. What do you call it? Light. There's no light gets in at all.
Oh, it's dark. Yeah.
They might be dark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're darker and they're better sound insulated.
Oh yeah, okay.
And the temperature is more is better regulated.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got this equipment.
Oh, nice.
So I was thinking, should I just go and wear it there and then?
No. Is it waterproof?
No, it's not waterproof. But I just they give
It's
you
not even a question.
I know what you're thinking, but they give you a little cushiony thing like this.
Oh, that is true. That is true. I wouldn't trust it.
Especially after you like down and yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't trust it. Definitely.
Okay.
So if some people get what do you call it, claustrophobic. If you don't like being like really dark, really closed in, then the cave is better. But if you can handle that, plus the Urban Recharge has an infrared sauna in place, so you can go in, you do the sauna, and then you can shower, jump in, and it's perfect. In fact, I might do it tomorrow.
Wow. Is it what?
I might do it tomorrow as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna ask them to play the tape, the recording, or not? You just meditate.
No, I just meditate.
Okay.
So which waves did you listen to? Was it the final two?
Yeah, the free flow
and sleep.
Yeah, the sleep one. And that was yesterday, and today early, like 4 a.m. Oh my god, that was so good. I woke up and I just did it straight away, and then it was like 4:45 or something. I was like, still too early to wake up. I'm just gonna do another one.
Nice.
And then I passed out, and I am when I wake up.
That's awesome. So everybody's now up to like finished full wave 1.
Yeah.
I keep falling asleep, and I've done one of them like 3 times because I keep falling asleep. So
is it the rest and recharge or recharge?
Yes, release and recharge. I keep falling asleep, and I'm like, because they go for like 40 minutes or something. I'm like, it's hard to kind of find that time again. So
So I've done the same. And I did it a couple of times, but also keep in mind that doing it, even if you do fall asleep, you still get tons of benefit. So don't feel like you have to go back and make sure you know everything. Once you know the initial steps, then as long as you got that down, then you can just go with it. Any interesting experiences? Because I know the first week people were starting to get all those integrating experiences where there was like flashes of light, visions, all kinds of things. Has that kind of subsided now and it's more stable, let's say? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone want to talk?
You are.
Okay. I had the longest dream I've ever had this morning or last night. And remembered everything. Like, well, I mean, a big part of it. It was a very strange story, but it had a storyline to it. It was just pretty interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Anything in particular? Like, did it have some kind of message for you?
Yeah, well, I want to ask you actually, because I was on a bus, like on a road trip or something like that, and I looked to the sides, and there was the grass was burnt in symbols. There was like
So,
the
like
grass,
crop circles?
no circles. There were hexagonals and hexagons. Was Spanish there? Hexagons and squares, like other shapes, not circles particularly.
But do you know, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like alien sightings in like crop fields, and they make these like they call them crop circles. They're not just circles, but they're just like symbols, and it's like people aren't really sure what they are, and people think
These
it's like
ones are
alien language.
these ones were really boring and geometrical. Like they were not that detailed or anything. They were pretty
Okay.
like unfortunately, but but that was part of the trip, and the other part was a very interesting experience that I know I have a recurring dream in my life, and this time the situation happened, and my reaction to it was very different.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I was
Interesting.
able to handle that and brush it off really quickly in the dream without waking up, which I usually, and that's the spot where I wake up. But this one, I was like so impressed when I woke up. I'm like, the dream continued, and I was able to handle it. So
That's
interesting.
awesome.
Yeah.
I would be curious as well, like, because you had a very intense experience with the car accident, so it wouldn't be surprising to me if there is a fair bit of processing going on under the surface, right? And traumatic events. We talked about like these things that are happening: heart palpitations, marriage stuff, cars, etc. These are very much like realignment of
Yeah.
that life path.
Like purging, but in
Yeah,
reality.
yeah. In fact, I also had a very, very wild dream.
This
And
week?
sorry?
This week? Or when?
Well,
yeah.
I received something in the mail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I see it?
It's this is Mel's tea.
Oh,
Mel's
nice.
tea.
Yeah.
The dream tea.
Yeah.
So last week I was going to tell you, Mel, because it arrived last Thursday afternoon, and I was excited to tell you that it arrived. Anyway, so either Thursday night or Friday night, I tried it, and then I did release and recharge, and I fell asleep in it. But then during my sleep, I had the wildest dream, and I woke up really early. It was like, I don't know, 5 a.m. or something like that, and I like had to write it down because it was super wild. So I wrote a whole page
So
about
proud of you. Yes, good.
But it was like, okay, it felt super weird because, part of the whole gateway thing is that there's the potential for speaking to non-human intelligence, other intelligences that are out there. Do you want me to
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah,
I was
actually-
like, come on.
Yeah. You can't stop now, Regan.
Okay. So, because this was right after we were talking about the life path correction. So each of you had quite a profound personal experience as a result of, these things coming into integration. And I was like, because I've done this a fair bit, so I didn't expect there would be much coming up for me. But then I had this dream after having your email.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm just going to read it out as I wrote it because I just woke up and just fucking
Perfect.
smashed it down. Okay, so title was Life Path Correction. So last night I dreamed that I was like abducted/inducted into a higher order. I drank Mel's tea, then did a gateway track. I dreamt I was in this training camp for potentials, while the rest of humanity were being segregated, and I wasn't sure what was happening to them, but it seemed almost like a cult.
Mm.
So like it was pretty wild. But by their choice, like we were segregated by our choices, right?
Mm.
I was informed that there are non-human intelligences surrounding the Earth and observing us. And I could start hearing that soft humming. So this was
Mhm.
close to like, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So it wasn't the actual track that I was still listening to. But in my dream, I could hear these like beeps, these rhythmic beeps and that humming in my ears. And then I had a full like vibration experience throughout the entire body. And then I eventually, like, the vibration reached a peak and like everything went really white. And then I woke up, I was in a new room. So the first part of the dream, I was like going through all this like socialization. It was sort of like in a bar or club, but I was like, I was not touching alcohol. I was not like doing anything, whereas a lot of other people were doing those things. So that's what I mean. Like, it was separated by choices. So I like whited out. It was in a new room, and then I had like, it was like in a video game where you see like your stats.
Oh yeah.
Right? You've got like your strength, agility, that kind of thing. And when I woke up, when I was in that room, so it was a false awakening. I was still asleep. I could really clearly see one stat, and it was like physical health, right? And it was like boxing. It was a sign I needed to like get into boxing. Not sure exactly why, but there was 3 that were available, like 3 key stats that I needed to build. And I teach a lot of like health, wealth, love. These are the 3 major things that I teach people. So I think those are the other 2, like finances and relationships, but I'm not sure. But I could definitely tell the first one was like fitness or strength or agility, things like that. And the final thing that came through was that my sort of guardian was someone called Trisha. And it's really interesting because I had literally just signed a client called Trisha, and she'd been like, she was really, really lost, and she couldn't really quite afford my full service. So I gave her a discount, and it was like, because I just really wanted to see her succeed, right? You know? And so that, I think there was sort of like, the message was kind of like, Trisha was my portal or guide. And I knew it was her because there was like a brochure in my room that I woke up in, this like bright white room. And so that's the end of everything that I wrote down. But it felt like, there was that selfless act where I had really just wanted to help see someone succeed, and I've been making like good decisions about my health and things like that. And so this, like, these non-human intelligences like talked to me, brought me aside, and sort of told me a lot about what was happening. Earth is being surveilled. We're being kind of watched, and we are ascending, but we're ascending according to our choices. So I don't know whether that was just fucking, you got drugs in that tea, or it was something to do with the hemi-sync, or just a really interesting dream. But anyway, that was it, and it was wild.
That's
Wow.
amazing. You've leveled up for sure.
Something happened. I don't know. And then I just got the dog. We just went out for a really long walk at sunrise, and I was just like processing it. So yeah, that was my week. Thanks for the tea, Mel.
You're welcome. I'm glad it works. I know it does, but I'm glad it worked just for
That's
you.
the only time I've done it. I haven't done it again since then.
So are you going to sign up for boxing, or what are you going to do to honor the dream?
Yeah, it's a good question. Ricardo's just said he's almost here. Hopefully Abel's not far away. Yeah, there's like a one of those, it's not an F45, but it's like a 12 round kind of thing near my house. I just fixed up my electric skateboard so I can like skate there and back. So I think that's what I'll have to do.
So it's interesting. It's like the segregation thing. I feel like that obviously is already happening in the world with people that are kind of like asleep, and us who are choosing consciousness and things like that.
Yeah.
The bar and the club, like, it's showing that you're that's like a way that you've segregated. But the stats thing, I love. A lot of people have those dreams, or like talk about that when you go to the other side, or when you die, that you get given like all these stats on your life and what you've been doing. The fact that you feel like the physical health was the main one, and they're the 3 things that you teach, it's sort of saying that your love and your money is like all good. Like, you don't need to worry about it, right?
Yeah.
And that, like, we always have something that we can work on. And the boxing, it might not even be boxing. Boxing could be a symbol for something, or it could be that
it was boxing gloves. That was like the icon, effectively, of that stats bar.
It could be like a fight. There could be like a physical fight.
Yeah.
Or it could be like you go to boxing and then you meet someone that you are meant to be aligned with.
I actually thought that could be the case. That it was like, this is an important branch for you. Like, you go there and then that puts you onto the right pathway, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But physical, like when you do weight training, that actually helps with dreaming as well. So cardio doesn't, but lifting heavy weights does. I can't remember why, some science behind it. But if Trisha's the new client is your guide, I don't know if it's like her individually will teach you something, or it's talking about perhaps taking on more clients like her so that you can then spread your message to like a larger amount of people. There's so much in this dream.
There was a lot. Like, it's very dense. I felt like the Trisha thing was that she was my guide, but I was her guide. Like she was
Yeah.
sent to kind of unlock like a selfless service kind of mentality for me. And because I've been part of what I want to do is like I like doing these things for free. I like to have things that are just available because I want to do them. Right. I obviously have my business and it's important to have that. And that does, it has a price tag to it. But that then allows me to do more of the things that I like. And so when I meet people like this who she has potential, she just really needed some help, I like to be in a position where I can just help because I see that she has potential and she needs it. Right. And she's been an amazing client. Like she's just so dedicated. But she just needed that hand up. Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was something that tapped into my I was just doing it out of pure goodwill, right? It wasn't for any financial gain or selfishness,
Yeah, that's so nice. Angie, can you still hear us? Is she
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't want to brush over your dreams. I just want to touch on them really quickly because when you have a repetitive dream, it's because it's trying to get a message through to you, or it's like if it's relating to something that repetitively happens in your life, it's trying to teach you a lesson on how to deal with it. And consider instead of you waking up, like you probably, I don't know if it's out of fear or the reason why you wake up, but the fact that you were dealing with it differently is showing that you're changing like limiting beliefs or your patterning is changing because you were able to deal with it differently. So I would be really proud of that. And I'm really interested to see, or you would be, as to what it's linked with. So next time you have these dreams, try to journal around what happened a few days before and leading up. So it could have been the car crash. It could be like anything in the last week that's kind of triggered it. But the bus and the symbols, it's like the bus, you're on a journey, you're with other people, which I feel like it could even be relating to us in this group. It's like your life trajectory, you're going on a journey somewhere. And the symbols, it's like, well, this whole hemisync thing is talking about how the universe communicates to us through symbols because it can't communicate in a literal way. So finding out what those shapes mean to you, like what, if you remember them in the dream, like the hexagon, if you tried to explain, say, to an alien or someone who doesn't know what that is, like how would you describe what a hexagon is? Or what do you remember? Have you seen it somewhere before? Things like that. Ask yourself these questions and it might help you to come up with the answer as to what relating to.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it's such a long dream. There's so many parts to it that I still have to journal much
Write
more.
them down. Yeah. I do a free dream circle once a month online. So I'll send you guys the information. And if you feel like jumping in, come along.
Definitely. Yeah.
You know what could be cool, Mel? We could actually, if you wanted, we could put it on the School of Alchemy. So put it on the calendar and we could actually kind of advertise it for you through the...
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, thanks. I only just started it. So it'd be great. Yeah, I'll send you the details. Thanks.
When's the next one?
I do it the first Wednesday of every month, and I do 2 different time sessions that people can choose from. So
yeah, wicked. All right, that sounds awesome. Hopefully, Abel is not too far away. Welcome, Ricardo. What we're doing at the moment.
Sorry for that.
That's okay. I think time zone, daylight savings time. Yeah, is that right?
Again?
Daylight savings time, like the time's changed. Is that right?
Yeah, there was the switch, so everything changed.
Okay. All right, so Abel is caught in the same thing. So what we've done, we've talked shit most of the time.
You did. Kidding.
So I missed the best part.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'll cut this into 2. So we'll have this first part is just like Q&A, and I'll post that as a Q&A sesh, and then I'll separate that from the content that we're about to do. But yes, you missed the best stuff. Actually, I do recommend going back and watching it because there's some pretty funny stuff in there. Why don't you catch us up on yourself while we wait for Abel? I'll give him just another couple of minutes, but if he's not here by in 3 to 4 minutes, then we'll just kick on.
Well, it's going pretty well. I feel that things are starting to align. I also finished my one micro journey with my therapist because I started again after a couple of years because I felt the need to work on some things that were emerging. So to work a bit more on some of my wounds from the past. And this morning I finished this micro journey with her the same time, I welcomed a new client yesterday. So things are starting to move after a time of a plateau. And maybe it's also because of that amazing...
yeah. Have you gone through all the first wave now? You're done there?
Yes. But it's hard not to fall asleep, but it's not even falling asleep. It feels more like clicking off, as they call it in the document.
Yeah.
Like you close your eyes, you open your eyes, and the track is finishing.
Yeah. I'm curious, just on something you said. What's a micro journey? Like, is it a couple of weeks or a month or something like that?
With my therapist, you mean?
Yeah, you said a micro journey.
Yeah, it was like six sessions.
Yeah, gotcha.
A couple of months.
Okay. Yeah.
Because she already knows me, so it was quicker.
Right. And I guess if you know something that you wanted to improve and you had a goal, that does make it quicker.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, glad to hear that you've got some momentum. Let's hear very briefly from Abel, and then we do need to start pressing on. But Abel, how has your week been? Catch us up briefly with how you're doing, and then we'll move on.
Well, so I'm in half term. So when it comes to school, I was free. So I just work all of these days. And I work on the night. So the thing is, when I try to do the hemisync, I fall asleep all the times that I try. I fell asleep because I fell asleep all the time. So today that I didn't work, I hope that I can do it and not fall asleep. And for the rest, everything is going pretty well. I have my goals very defined. As this go more and on, I have a more clear goal of the things that I want, because I have a very big goal, then I have something more smaller, then I have something closer to achieve. And yesterday I have the idea that I want to achieve, for example, for the next 2 weeks. So I'm very happy that I have a plan of action that I can act immediately, and everything is going pretty well.
Perfect. Love to hear it. So you've got like nested goals, like ultimate goals, goals for soon, and then more proximate goals.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. And in terms of falling asleep, that's fine. The tapes do work pretty well if they're working at the subconscious level, so that's all right. But at least through this process, you'll have everything you need. You have all the training, you have all the information, and so if you practice more, I'm sure you'll learn to stay awake. In fact, practicing meditation is not a bad idea as well to practice that discipline. And yeah, I think just over time things will improve. But keep sticking with it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so why don't we march on? I will share my screen, and I did want to wait for the group as much as possible because this is a reasonably important session. We're going to go through the document. I will share my screen.
Regarding this, I went through the whole document, but I didn't read the new chapters from the book. Is that?
Oh, yes, that's fine. I didn't do any more either, so
okay,
not a problem at all.